is Jessica Holyfield, and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we are here taking a look at A.C.E.'s newest comeback. We got their intro called Recuerda, which means remember. And then we also have their title track. I believe it's Pinata. I'm excited for it. We got the music video and the dance practice fix cams for both. I'm pumped for this. This is also a Patreon request. Shout out to Lauren for the request. We have been waiting a whole solid month for this to come out so we can appreciate it in all its glory. I hope y'all are ready because I don't know if I am. Let's go. Oh, the basket runs so soon. Nice. Wasn't this magical? I love fusion. I don't know why our dancers are looking like nuns, but okay. Good speed changes. I'll take a rainy spot any day. Yes, I love that. And then E, there you go. Nice. I love me a good water scene. Water's so freaking cool. I love it when people dance in water. And then I also believe this is the first comeback Ace has had as a group of 5 since all the military enlistments. Am I right? Maybe? That's what Reddit told me. I've tried to get some info before watching this fully, but okay. We got the actual track right here. I said Pinata because there's not like that little right there, so I don't want to say pinata and sound strange, but here we go. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's the boys. We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, what I told ya. 원하는 건 뭐가 됐든 가져 hold ya. We're like, yeah, ain't one bite. 다 덤벼봐.
And I love me a good Mega Cruise setting too. Bedazzled blood drip sleeves. We're losing clothes, everyone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah! You better use the baby powder. Let's go! His subtlety to clock him his feature was smart.
기억 속에 헤매이는 밤 But I never let you go 비틀어진 안개를 넘어 We never stop Don't doubt it my baby
And we got black on the back too. Woo! So it is Pinata. Oof! Oof! Such a saturation of sound. Oh, we got the credits. We gotta look at the credits. Oh, clean up emotion creative. I didn't know that was a job. That's so cool. Okay, who is in charge of this choreography? Bless America. Tamsin. Wait, that's Team Same. Yeah, so isn't that Choi Young-jun? Sungyeon Yu. I'm gonna be honest. As much as I really like this, I freaking hate basket runs and megas. I've said that so many times. The intro had it so much more. It's such a wasted opportunity for how you travel. But honestly, for the cinematic side, it's a little bit more forgiving. But it's the fixed cams that's really gonna show it. So if you followed me at all, you should be sensitive to the basket runs, just like I have a feeling we're about to see them a lot in this intro. I love this though. Notice there's a little bit of the in the back. The melts are gorgeous. Melting it back. Good job to all the dancers on that. And then there's those basket runs. Ugh. Yep. Yep. This does simulate a similar structure to Maestro, but you got 4 groups instead of 2, and you have 1 person in charge of all of them. I consider that a fingerprint more than plagiarism. It's not plagiarism if it's the same guy. Come on now. The orchestra with the percussion is, ugh. I love it. Oh, with the melts all day, baby. Yep. Yep. See, you can't appreciate a good old column if you got a moving shot. Come on now. Ugh. I love that they spell ACE. C-E. See, I can be way more forgiving on the basket runs for this because of the number, probably time frame that they had to work on this. Yeah. Yeah, time frame plays a huge role in all of that. Like, I do know, what was it? A.C.E, they had Born to Be. They learned that. They did the whole mess in 6 days. Like, I pick my battles sometimes with the basket runs. They ain't competing mega for competition where you get docked on it. It's meant for a certain concept and niche, and they need it for the cleanliness, so I completely understand it. But I can't not be vocal about it. Okay, here we go. Fixed version. Ready. I'm ready for this. Ugh.
It's the boys. We back, baby.
All 5, baby!
It's like, what
I love this. That is what I want to see. Do you see what I mean? It is a basket run. Do that. That's awesome. I love this. The double is so fun. Yeah. Play that back. Ah! I love me a good log roll. Come on now. That reminds me of Chibi Unity, doesn't it? Yes! Gorgeous! Are they gonna have the... Are they gonna do it here? That was filthy in the music video. What are we riding, sirs? Woo! It's cheesy, and it went with a little, the candle drips too. This is the undress part. Woo! Yes, I love those types of entrances with your dancers. Thank you. All day, all day. Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Swing, batter, swing, let's go! Yep. So fun. So fun. Even the basket runs couldn't take the fun out of it for me. But I hope you saw or noticed on my face, I was getting it, and then I saw them rush forward in their chicken wing transition, and I just went... Well, whatever, guys. Like, this was really cool. We gotta talk. I'd say MVP of the whole freaking thing has to be this part. Look at this crap. This is awesome. Oh my god, that was so good. And I love the contrast, like vampire-esque corset vibes with the blood bedazzled drenched sleeves. Oh, it's so fun. Okay, let the party start. Intro time, party of us. Really, really like this. Don't let my disdain for one specific go-to basic transition fool you. I love the structure of this. This is fan-freaking-tastic. I'm already factoring in turnaround time, the amount of rehearsal, the quantity of rehearsal time. We're not sitting here operating on a three month out timeline like a lot of people who do mega crews competitively have the privilege of. So I'm not going to sit here and hold them to that. But I can still, say my little observations here and there. But ideal world, you'd have a year to prep for something like this. Anyway, right here, he comes up, and then you have your dancer slowly melt down. Definitely gives shadow vibe, right? Love that. Like the opposition going on, having one of his arms create some tension as he lowers it. Really enjoy that. And as he shifts his energy over to that stage left side, notice what happens. We have another shadow start to emerge, and then another shadow emerge. That's how we're introducing our members, but it's more of a popcorn style, meaning that you have it they're not right next to your first feature and center. They are symmetrical, meaning that if you have a mirror right here, they're each other's mirrors, which is cool considering they have a shadow that's also a mirror. So they're kind of catered to the same quantity amount of people from one side to the other, which is why it works, which is why it's clear to see that there's like a momentum building out, but it feels balanced. It's because who you have is mirrored, which is really nice. So from there, as we go and we move, and then you have somebody else say, oh, hi there, and then another member right there. So I do like how we have our first member, and then it goes boom, 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 boom. Love that. And I really do like the fact that everybody has a grayscale or black, neutral-based kind of fits if you're a member, but everybody's in black, even with the ball caps. Hey, as somebody who is very colorful myself, I'm such a fan of neutrals, man. It's so fun. And it's a really fun test to know if your members are able to stick out because of the choreographic composition or because of their fits. Because in the music video, it's clear and plain as day, right? For the rain. God, the rain was so cool. But for this, it's going to be a little harder, but it makes it really fun, right? So I like this beautiful bleed. They have to make sure that they're lifting up, using the core to lift up and come down at a particular rate. They don't want to go too fast nor too slow, so everyone has to match what kind of energy they're doing. So I'm wondering if for that, it could be one of two ways. If they're very familiar with the Team Same choreo structure, if this is all Team Same, then they would probably just be like, okay, can I see you melt boom, pop up and down. And then sometimes when you teach choreo, you teach everybody the same time, like everyone's facing the same way, and you're like, okay, do this move, and then you put them in the formation. It really, you can kind of, depends on who your group is and how fluent you are with working with each other will determine how you would teach that. So that's kind of cool. We get to see that. They all melt down, and I really like the fact that we got to reverse it, but my guy right here on the stage right side didn't reverse. He just went up. Oh, okay. So he went up and then he sent it back. He didn't go up like the other person on stage left did. So that's why it felt to me a smidgen incomplete in the reset, is because of how he chose to send it back. But that's, once again, the teeniest observation in the grand scheme of Mega. Like, that's whatever. It's just, I'm just telling you guys what I noticed, which is fine. It still doesn't take away the beauty of what this was. Now we go into the basket runs. I understand in order to get somewhere very quickly, especially getting people where they need to be in about an 8 count, which is about as much time as they had, you don't really have a lot of time to be creative in how you get there at times. I would say I can see the intention logistically on how they got them transition. They made it to where it was structurally sound in positioning of where people were, so when they moved, it was at least balanced in the rotation that was going on in people transitioning. So we can totally give them props for that. You have everybody, they all come up and they rotate around. Notice that it does give the impression that everybody swiveled around the front to make their way to the back. So my guys that are back here, they didn't just get up to go back there if they were hanging out in that inside V. They had to go wee all the way around to their spots, right? But at least it was balanced, like I said. In that transition, I always celebrate that. In the priority list on, do you want to fight to have a creative transition, like not doing a basket run and doing something else, but risk not getting to your spot and risk losing the visual of the next section, or do the basket run with the chicken wing that everybody and their mama does? There's a reason why they do it. It's because it's clean and you get to your spot fast, and you sacrifice the potential of that transition not being as creative in nature. But if you think about it, because there's 2 visuals, one for this and then one for the music video, you kind of pick your battles, which I think is absolutely fine, which is why I'm allowed to have my perspective on it, but also I can wholeheartedly respect the choices being made here too. So the melt right there. So we have 4 of our members all up on chairs. We have 1 of our members down below. So when I said this reminded me of Maestro, if you remember the section with the gloves and they were playing different instruments, right? We had like the fluty ones, and then we had the stringed ones from the I think it was June's section specifically, or it was either his, and I loved it with the gloves, but also it was the section where they used Junghan and S.Coups. They were the conductors of their own respective clumps, and the reason why they did that was because of their injuries and just supplementing for that, and it was Team Same on that too. So I know it wasn't just Team Same on it, but I hope you catch my drift of, like, I can see the fingerprint overlap in structure if you have the same people working on different groups, and especially if they're mega style like this, that's okay. Like, I can appreciate it, and don't fix what ain't broke sometimes. If you're going with an orchestra-based heavy vibe, going with this type of setup is going to feel very practical and very cool, and I like this as an established environment where you can have it rotated and face the outside, which is what we see in the music video portion. It feels very complimentary. Like, the intro tailors quite well to the Pinata set. Very cool, honestly. I really like how they tie together, but they're independent in their own right. I love that. So we have this tension going on from our center on this. So he melts down. I love that he's leaning away, but still recognizing the group over on the side. They go boom, boom. Very polyrhythmic. It's polyrhythmic through delegation. When I talk about this, it's a polyrhythms are 2 or more rhythms that happen at the same time that are different. Whenever you see dancers who hit really complex movement, it is most likely have to do with they're hitting multiple parts of the music at the same time, which enhances the complexity of what they're doing. And so I navigate it in 2 ways. One is based off of content, and one's based off of delegation of people. So this is an example of, you could have your center hold down all of these sounds that we're hearing, or why do that when he can accent off and delegate a certain sound that's happening in the track to a group while another group's going on environmentally. To me, I find that to be very, very helpful in using your numbers effectively. So I like that choice. So they bled over. I like that boom, they hit, nice little that really accent on that accent. Oh my gosh, Jess, use your words. I can word in some ways and not in others. And I love that we present over nice and elegant here, and then I like the intensity over to the side. He lifts up, he rolls on his bottom over to lift to the other side. So E recognizes each group, and it is a very clear indicator for us that even if we didn't have our center doing that, we could still kind of clock what's going on because everyone's intentional with holding their position. But having our center really does aid in the focal point directions quite well. It's fun. I love how he has his moment, my guy up at the top there, and very maestro-esque and speed changed, and I love how we have it kind of hinged over. It's really nice. A lot of floor work, which actually can tie quite well to some of the overlapping movement content that we see in the music video choreo and Pinata. So I really like how he just rotates around, they all go down, and then they lift up. So I like that they're all looking up. Well, half are and half aren't, so that'll be my note to the dancers to be very clear if you want to look up or in the middle. The slow little runs right there is fine. And this right here is the speed change. I can totally vibe with that if we're going speed change and not just running for the sake of it. I will also say this, with basket runs, I have said this many times before, and y'all are like, Jess, you keep talking about them. Yes, because it is such a lifelong topic with Mega Cruise. You're never going to escape this conversation. One reason why, for me, preferentially, I would prefer to pursue a different avenue outside of a chicken wing basket run, which is where you have your hands by your thighs, is simply because it doesn't tempo match, meaning that you're not recognizing your music to keep the pacing of your transition. So it feels like we neglected that area for the sake of getting to your next spot for focal point. And I'm an advocate for all facets of your choreography to matter, not just the beginning, the end, and maybe some parts of the middle in your course for the challenge portion of your choreography. So that's why I really do love it whenever basket runs are done well, or they're very functional, which here they would be more deemed functional than anything. I totally respect it, like I've said, but that's why it's still a really interesting conversation to tackle that you don't get to do quite often when you don't have Mega Cruise in the K-pop scene as often, right? It's really, really fun. Anyway, so they drop down, come down and up, and then I like that they're all nice and tall, and then you have other dancers joined in the chat, the nice abstract moment going on with our members here. We go down, up, and then we have our arms come up. We're building to a really nice dramatic place. We're here for it with the orchestra. They hit. I love the absence of movement. This really nice strong pose, boom, from center, and it caused a trigger effect to the rest of the dancers to book it. To me, I'll take that. See, that running, it felt intentional. It didn't feel like, okay, we're getting to our next spot. It's we're booking it out of response to something that's happened. It's a cause and effect, right? Really cool. And then from here, we're in our new spot. We have a little grouping going on in the back, and we have our member in the front. So he hits it over. I like the little tap going on, the mouths, and then allowing our elbows to help influence the direction on. That's really cool. He hits it, which is nice, a little sweep around. I like what we're building in the back, but it's not distracting. It's creating a really nice level, but also a different type of flow than what we're hearing in intensity in the front half and the foreground of the choreo. So it's cool. They hit it over, that boom boom, which is really nice to see. Dee 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 boom. Oh, so fun, so freaking dramatic. I love it. Like a heartbeat in the back. So freaking sick. So they've all dropped down into their knees, the arms nice and intense with fists. So they go melt high low, and they place, and they go and they move those legs around. And so he's recognizing that there's something going on in the back. I love that he moves to the back, looks back to the front to stop them, what they're doing. I like to switch up the air time on that with a switch of the feet, and then they drop right back down. For me, when it comes to the dancers, how I would clean them is just where their head looks does tell a story, especially if we're wearing a ball cap. So I always want them to be very mindful of where they're looking at all times. If they're looking up, if they're looking down. Sometimes you can tell if a dancer is too in the mirror, it's because they've trained their head to always look out, but never look where their hands are. And so that's a really fun thing you can test for yourself if you're a K-pop cover artist, or if you're somebody who does choreography quite regularly and you've never received that note or never thought about it. See if you ever notice whenever you're taking class, you're always glued your face to the mirror and you're not actually looking at your hands to help create and tell a story. That's a fun little way to kind of determine maturity of movement too, because you don't have to look at the mirror to know, because you just feel that good about it, right? So that's a fun little tidbit if you were curious, because some guys are looking out and some are looking down. So that's kind of what little detail I'm noticing here with those guys. So they're down. I love that boom, the dropout on bass was really cool. I liked how they used their hips to hinge it up and over to the other side, and I like how they ended up in a crouched position. From there, everybody has now been sent out regardless of their level, so that was really fun to see. They go out in, I like the Y, and there's your members, and then they go tra 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 tra. It's the chicken wing basket run to like 2 feet is what really sends me for that. Like look how quick they run. So like that right there. Oh man, that's cute. Okay, we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna look at what the members are doing. I like the little extra embellishment, a little momentum in the front, and they hit an accent there. But boom, I like how we syncopate that. Look at the formation structure. Oh my god, put that on a t-shirt. It's gorgeous. I do think we could have some refinement happening over here, but guys, look at the gorgeousness of that diagonal. It's so pretty. That would be a goal. This side is way more sporadic than this side. I feel like we have more intentional attempt at some form of structure. My guy's too far out. Do you know what I mean? But it's really hard when you think about the sequence that they just did. It is really hard to clock and check to make sure everyone's in the right spot. And for a one take vibe, we pick our battles on that too. It's literally whatever. So the rotation round is really cool. They go hit, and then we have everybody do the arms to help complement what the members just did there, which is really cool. Fun add-on to get everybody reset front, right? Would this have looked 15 times better with clean angles? Yes. We were able to appreciate the angles over in the performance version intro. It's fine. So they're having a little melts there, boom, boom, and I like how we peel it out, which is also really nice. That whoom, you hear that sound? That whoom, I heard it, and that movement was killing it on there. He climbs up. I love the quickness of how he got up. Boom, the air time clock, the absence of sound in that moment is really cool. And then they all turn, which is really cool. He lands right there on the crash. They pony, very militant, which is really nice. Getting into our let me a good column. Do you see how pretty these columns are? Guys, it's so pretty. And you can't appreciate these nearly as much in seeing the combativeness of how they're moving to and fro like they're lost trying to find their way, right? You can't appreciate that in a moving shot. Fixed cams really allow us to see how they set up, how they come out of them very well, which is really cool. They travel it up, which is really nice. So I really like the members just weaving in and out of the columns. It's super cool. They go boom and boom, the melts and the melts. I really love the breath that's added into our extensions. Really fun on that. Dun, 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 dun. And then we take our energy and we move it backwards. I hope you're seeing it. That's life. I mean, I can get over that. I like the column. The column is pretty. And some of our guys couldn't even go back, you know. I think that would be, I understand they really couldn't. They had no time. They had to get out of shot, into shot really quickly. But that, it's something I am going to note, though, that these two on each respective side could really fight to face front, because there's two different ways you're transitioning, and you're seeing both of them right here. Hence why it may not feel as clean and crisp as the potential of how it could be. Intro, you don't notice these things because it's a moving shot, so you can hide a lot of stuff, which is cool, right? So there's two ways that I've learned that can be like an average styled transition. First is you're actually facing the direction that you're wanting to transition to, which is what you're seeing there. He's wanting to transition over to the clump, so his body is facing that way to move. You're going to get there a lot faster that way. The second option is what you're seeing the majority of the people do, which they are keeping and locking in a particular facing in a direction, and their body is moving where it needs to go without looking where it's going. That's going to up your difficulty, which is what you see, but it's going to potentially take longer to get to your spot because you have to calibrate that speed and range and knowing your depth and readjusting everything, because you're not used to moving backwards into the corner like you are moving forwards, right? So that's why the rate at which this condenses into a clump is different, because you got a group of 4, 2 on each side, that are booking it from the outsides, getting to their spot in a timely manner. Yes, very quick turnaround. But then you have the masses, including your members, all facing a certain way to help us appreciate a visual of it being spaced out to those columns into a beautifully condensed clump, you know, to get into our next spot, which is the A.C.E section. I really love what they chose to do there. So captivating, right? So they go down. Da, 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 da. Now the question is, was that supposed to be a ripple, or was that supposed to be I think that was supposed to be unison, and it just didn't come across that way. But there was music built in that you could kind of fake anything. You can go, so you could like ripple it front back or something, you know, but it wasn't quite clear, so that would be my note given there. That was clear. That was a ripple. Boom, they take the arms up and over. I love that commitment to the head. Notice some people are looking diagonal. They're not looking all the way down. We're looking down, baby. And I like the extra mix on that. This is really hard to count. So I'm a huge like we're commending here on the fact that it does take time to calibrate your brain to pick up on this. There's not a ton of counts to get this. There goes 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 3 Iana, 4 Iana is what you probably had to count that as. and it goes hit out in, and then we rotate it over. So I like the angles chosen, and I like the 3 different dynamics we chose to pursue depending on the letter. So the A is really nice. We're nice and more geometric in our choices. A, and then we end up closing it in. I like the intention on the fingers. A lot of times people don't tend to, in Mega, go really subtle in the fingers like this. So I love that exploration. Rotate it up, and then their head shoots down. It is important that the head goes down. Why? Because if I see your face, that is not... That like if you have everything black and you show your face, your face is not the same color black as your fit, and you come up and people's hands are the same color as your face, it's going to very quickly look like your face is supposed to be involved in it and it's not. So that's why it's really important to have your head clocked down like that for this. So I like the hit, boom, and then we rotate it around. I like the grabbing on the wrist is really cool. To the other side is also nice. To the side, up, to doom, and then we had it as a little add-on. So we went from the C to the E. So that was really cool. They used the same people for C. No, just kidding. That was a blatant lie. I'm so sorry. They didn't use the same people. They used a couple of the same people. So C was really was way quicker than the A, but I like the fact that they held the A long enough for us to recognize we need to clock why the small group is shaped the way that it is. Then when the C shows up, we get it now, and then we can appreciate the E more profoundly because we understood the A being lingered just a smidge, which is really cool. And also there's a good chance that it was based off of the timing of the music and the phrasing of it, which determined how long the A, the C, and the E were held. That's what my gut tells me. That's what I would do personally, but hey, they're not me. That's fine. But they have a really good ear for musicality, so that's probably why for me I can relate to this somewhat, which is really cool. Okay. Yeah, that whoop. So that's probably all the time they had there. That whoop. I love that hold on that was really cool. Who all joined in there? Looking at the hands, that it was just them, and then everybody joins in. Yeah, so they cross, uncross, and they drop it down. Now we go from the back to the front. So they all go explosion, fullness, and a really nice way to reach to help transition you up. So it was not just the level, it was a level in arms, a level in body. So instead of just having the arms shoot up, you had your whole body come up, and it felt like a huge wave of energy going from back to front. Really cool. Then we do a really nice spread, spaced out formation, which is nice to take the arm up, travel it down, and we go down up, and then we take our energy up to the sky. We place it, ding, 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 we cross it behind ourselves, and then we hit it over. So unison, anytime we look at unison, we're looking for a couple of things. The longer you choose to do it is the more liability your dancers have and your members have to get it right to the same range and timing. Range and timing are 2 different things. Timing is your A and your B in your movement, so that would be here and here. Range is how long it takes you to get there and how long it takes you to get there. So to me, I feel like they're holding it down pretty well, but the longer you do this, the more likely you're going to start seeing mistakes, right? And especially the formation's not the cleanest either. It's just spread out. Were we supposed to fight for diagonals? It gives me the impression that we were. I can see some of that forming, but I couldn't tell you. It's not clean enough in the formations to know that. Kick over. Hit, boom, 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 kickball change is nice. They re-switch over. So the torso, I could see it more on this stage left side. So they get stickers from me for really killing it over there. The stage right, it could just be vantage point of our camera. Could very simply be that too. Rotating it around is nice. Boom with the pulse. So they hit it over through, and then we have it mirrored. So it is important that everybody really make sure that they use the torso and the arm effectively as close as possible to the angle that they can fight for in order for us to very clearly see that contrast in mirror, because if we see everyone's arms in different angles, then we can't truly know, is it supposed to be leveled? Is it supposed to be everyone doing the same thing on that side, but we just are different angles? You know, you don't want your audience to ask more questions than appreciate what they're watching, right? So I have to pick it up, I like to hit over, and then they swing that swing the arm down, grab the chest. I like how the leg comes in, and then we have our center point right here. Boom, he's in front. Everybody takes the arms out to the back. Notice even the intention of where our arms are. We don't have it here. We have it here. This makes a difference, right? That's subtlety. And I love the fact that we were intentional with recognizing that, which is really nice. And then they bleed it. They ripple it from outside to inside. Members are the only ones still up. And so they go, they hop. And then I really, really love the fact that they all just did a direction change to the inside. That was really cool. To center. And then all they did is they take that outside knee, they drop it down, and then they add this little extra breath. And this little extra boom pulse coming out of that is really cool. And it actually ties into Pinata very, very well. And so they're walking and they're looking front. They said, okay, we're here, ready to go. Woo, man, oh man, this is fun, guys. I am having a blast. I have no idea how long this video is gonna be because I don't have my timer on the side, but we're here for it. I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay. From the jump. It looks like this was all shot in the same session. Why not, right? I mean, I'd totally film all this at the same time, too. Here we go. That little woo, boom, boom is nice and low. Why does that feel so familiar? Let me show you. We have this little pulse that they end up doing at the end here, right? Oh my gosh, and I missed it again. Here we go. It's just a different... It just looks like a little vomit, and that vomit looks like that little baby powder moment that we saw later on. Gotta remember that, right? But this little extra breath legato situation, we end up doing it just on a different plane. Instead of going front to back, we're going side to side. So I really like how complementary it is, yet it's already establishing a different playing field, right? That's cool. So we go melt. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Really impressive of the fact that the residual head is as clean as it is. I was just very impressive. Honestly, it's really dope. And then they go, it cuts out. Here we go. They all come up. And they go down. Really nice. First feature. He goes, and they go, they just do little shoulders. I think they're doing, I don't know if they're doing shoulder pickups or they're doing rotations. Let me look. Yeah, they're doing like, they're lifting onto their feet too to make that a bigger moment. So I like that. That's cool. They could have pulled it more subtle, but that's whatever. Like, I love the choice. It's cool. So cool. Love it. And they come up, they go up, and I like from there, we're going in opposition. And then we go boom, and we like the tension on the oh my gosh, on the outside angle side, which is cool. You have two members there, and they go in center and they scoop it up, which is also really nice. They go down, all five. It says, we're back. We're back, baby, is what he said. And I have a feeling if you've been a fan of ACE and you followed them through their non-member of 5 hiatus time, this must feel very, very good for you that they're back, baby. It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun, and I've only seen like a couple things from them.
We're back, baby.
And I like they go reach out. That's such a mega crew thing to do, where they all have these reaches because you have the numbers for it. Why not do it? Don't fix what ain't broke. Sometimes you have those at the top, accenting in their angles up. You have those that are in the bottom. They're going out in front to the corners, and then in the middle section, they're going to cater more their energy to that middle ground of level. So if you go back and look, that's going to be kind of something you're used to seeing. Right. So I like that they hopped it to at least make them an outlier. Like, this is no, it's not basic. I mean, it's definitely one that if you're as familiar with analyzing mega crews, like I am, like I've had to be over the years, that's something that you're like, yes, okay, we got that mega crew leveled formation thing done. Now the question is, why do people do that in the competition scene? I'll tell you, because sometimes in the competition world there is rules and regulations, and sometimes part of the rules is you want to, throughout your routine, showcase degrees of levels, not just uniformity the whole time. You want to showcase air, standing, kneeling, floor, lunge, crouching. Like, that's a real thing. I mean, HHI is what I can name off the top. That very clearly states that in their rules. And so that's why for me, when I see that, that feels like we're trying to justify criteria of mega when I see it. But it feels very comfortable is what I look at, but not in a do something more creative way. Not at all. I just like it. That's why it works, is because there's something that you're so saturated in when you watch megas. Cool. So the jump up is nice, the boom, they're doing a little ball change to reset in center, and then they go, yeah, and this, I could watch transitions like this all freaking day. So you have my guy, he comes up, I like that he picked up, and then he moved through, there's a little space that allows for him to go through. I love this. This is a fantastic way to transition your dancers. I like the pulse on it, different BPMs, what it feels like, right? And I like that all of them are vibing out. It's just so cool. This little extra dig pulse as they're moving is so fun. And he goes, and hold ya. And I like that the dancers are holding each other. And he goes, and we like, yeah. And then they're going high and low. This is not a basket run. Why? Because we're going on tempo. It's not the basket run that I normally call out. It goes on tempo. There's something dynamic about it. We're going high-low. We're doing something different than our arms glued to our thighs, right? So this, I can watch. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I say I always want any mega. I've chewed out Just Jerk about it. I mean, everybody who's done mega for the Street Fighter franchise, I have mentioned it many a times if you've watched any of those analysis. And And this is the kind of stuff that I'm like, we can do so much more of this because it's intentional to your music, but it's also a clean way to transition to your next spot. That's why I'm always going to be an advocate for it, because you see it right here, which then also made me think in my head, yes, I saw what I saw earlier. My gut tells me they had to choose between creativity or efficiency. And for me, I can respect the choice that was made. We love it. Okay. And I really like the intention of how we have multiple not levels and layers of these transitions. So freaking thought out. Thank you for that. And I like the absence of movement from our feature. This is a really good textbook example. I say this quite often. Whenever you have a lot of movement going around except for your feature and they're very still or subtle, they're going to stick out, and vice versa. When they're really full and everyone else is really subtle, they're going to stand out. So that's a really great example of utilizing your dancers and the numbers and quantity of them to showcase the quality of your member. Cool. And then from there, I really like the choice that was made when they chose to go basket. They went, instead of just pushing and promoting to, as they were doing their tempoed kind of runs, they converted it to, okay, my body is now facing the mirror, facing front, and now I'm converting into a shape. That to me is really cool. That felt very intentional, and that's more complex of a transition, which I love. Cool. And it goes, yo, so now I like these two pyramids on the outside, which is really cool. And it goes, boom, bring it back, da-da-da. And it brings smoke. And then this little pulse right here. Hold on. That reminds me of Number I. I was wondering what that reminded me of. Number I, if you've ever seen them, they did, it's not Goat. Yes, it was probably Goat. It was one of their tracks. They did something of that kind of pulse. It goes, go, go, go. It's that. That's what it is. I love it. Okay, all I have to say, I'm here for this. There's some familiarity here that I've seen before. We may have to go over this twice. Once for the members and then once for the dancers. But here we go. They go, smoke, boom, pulse, 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 pulse. So I like that. I'm assuming this is the ACE kind of symbol, maybe. Yeah, and they pulse it high, middle, low. I like how the dancers joined in on the second part of that. And they go, get some. I like how we hit it on the tone. It's surprising that we have our member doing that whenever they're making the tone, because that's definitely a stability risk in vocals, right? Whenever you choose to go that full, utilizing your torso. So that's cool. It goes dun 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 dun. So I like how we hit that out, and then we go dig, and then we double it up. And then it goes wrist roll, and then we double it up, and then we ball change it. We take our arm and some subtlety into a little butterfly, and then we place our arm, and we take it and we throw it into a fun transition. As you can tell, I'm talking quickly. There's a lot of awesome stuff to talk about, and I'm excited. I love looking at Mega Cruise stuff. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. It's so fun. Okay, here we go. Lauren's such a freaking real one. Oh my God, it's so fun. I gotta go back to the top of this section. And there's so much we missed on the dancers. Goodness. Okay, this part you already know. Now, we've already talked about our guys in center. Let's talk about our dancers. Outside, they go march, march, bring it back. They actually went back on that. Really cool. And they go high and low. And then they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold 8, and then they end up pulsing it, using that 8 to transition in the direction to go, and end up pulsing it back. And I like the double on that to match the energy that our members had there. So I like they go and they bring it back to the back to frame towards the middle. It helps us clock the members. This is the kind of stuff I like to see, and this is why I like that they're all wearing similar fits. I can clearly see who my features need to be. It's who's in this middle group, because everybody and their mama is framing them. So that is exactly what we want to appreciate and see. There is something going on in the back, but it's not distracting whatsoever because of just the saturation of movement that we're seeing here. Love it. And then we hit through, ding, 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 ding. Now, I don't know if we're quite using our back on that. It did feel a bit stiff on the torso, but it felt more like a very intentional choreography choice than anything. I mean, kind of, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And it goes, wake up, boom. One, bon, and bon. So I like the syncopation on the arms as they punched them up. And then we hit it up, and I like the little suspension before we go and reset with the arms crossed. And it goes, get up into a butterfly. Really nice. So I like how we took the whole energy of everybody in the room over to the side. Now we still have a setup going on right there. And then they basket run to a new spot. I can get over that. Okay. Na, na, na. And I love this section vocally. I think it's probably my favorite section to hear. It caught me off guard because of how it was set up rhythmically. Oh, so fun. Great tone. Very, very, I was about to say really silly sense. fantastic practitioners of vocals. Very nice to listen to. Very fun. And then, of course, the diagonal. This is looking much cleaner. Do you see this compared to the intro? Notice we have way more clarity going on in the direction of what's supposed to go down here. And because these guys are here in these kind of diagonals, it allows for a really dope spacing visual that helps us appreciate this archway. Like, it feels like this puzzle piece is quite effectively in, and this isn't the only part that's structured. Everything has structure to it. Even our members are locked down in spacing. Thank you for this. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, tragedy is really cool. So, oh man, okay. There's so much to talk about. Okay. The melts are so fun. I like the little drip across the face. They're down on the floor. And then they boom, no, no. So they hit and then they press up onto the arms to help make that moment more tense and to build up the level. He stands up because why not? I love the point is nice. The tension right here is super fun. And then you have, oh, there's so much going on. Polyrhythms through delegation. Lord help us. There's so much to talk about. Okay. So you have your members, and then you have more of the environmental tension of the flow happening in the back of the track. You have your dancers hit. And then you have your dancers here in center that complements our member, which helps tie the other members in. They're doing very similar movements, but their hands are different. You have a loose fist going on with our members, and then our dancers have their hands in a more stylized position, which actually matches the other dancers. So I don't know if that was intentional or not. I see it. I appreciate it. I like that we have two of our dancers low in our arms, or no, sorry, in our head with our arms shot up, but low in position. And I really like the fact that we have multiple dancers laid down and he's standing on legs. So he's not standing on an assisted position, or this section wouldn't have a space in it. And actually it helps create more equal spacing between all of the lines by having a center also opened up. Really cool. And they go down, da na 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 na. He goes high low, very nice. And I love how he lets his body collapse out of that. Really fun. We walk, and I like, see that? Do you see? You see how pretty that was? We walk and we pulse and we pulse. We don't frolic away yet. Oh, that to me, that's a good transition. Mwah! Chef's kiss to that. Team same. I'm loving it. Okay. How do I get out of that? Hold on. That's how you sway and sway. You have some dancers go off camera. Cool. Now, I wasn't expecting this type of course. Is it my favorite course? Wouldn't be my top 5, but I could put it in a top 25. It's pretty, it's a growing on you type, but I would say how they built it up, very, very fun. That pre-course divine, love it. There we go. And this part, so intense. I really love the fullness of the torso. You guys know I love me a good torso integration when you're doing movement that has a masculine energy in it. Yeah, boom, so it goes, bring it back, then we throw it. So I like the back being used in that. Make it go, blah, blah. The double up is really nice. They throw a little reverb on that, which is really cool. I'm telling you, the members are bodying this so freaking hard. So freaking hard. So I guess my one note would be, I wish that our dancers weren't as stiff in their torsos while they were doing this. Because what I really like about it is the intensity of seeing the reverbs, boom, into these heads, into the torso, being a response or reaction out of the choices. But that could just be chalked up to my preference when I watch artists freaking kill it like that. I love it. I love it. But I also wish that a dancer whose responsibility is to do those things, that would be my wish, you know, that I would want to see. It does have a sense it's clean, but the members captivate me more. Was that the goal? Maybe, because they're killing it right now. And they hit it over the reverb. My center is freaking bombing. And it goes ba ba. So I like to take it with a cross back on that. And they pick it up. He takes his arms up. They swing the body down up. Then we take our hands and then we swing. And then we're swaying and we're taking our arms and creating opposition. And then 1, 2, and 3, 4. So doubling it up. These kinds of things are really tricky to get not looking like a hot mess express. To get everybody swaying and weight shift while also having the arms syncopate, but also having the weight shift syncopate and also not look like a freaking lunatic, you know? Because a lunatic looks cool when you're a feature, and it also looks cool when everybody looks like a lunatic going the same way. Then it looks intentional. But if you just look like you don't know what you're doing and you're just flailing around, you're out of a job. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have more, like, for me, I understand we're choosing control and cleanliness of the phrase over just going for it because you're risking it not being as clean. But I don't think this is intended to be clean, even though it's in unison. Yeah, the hit and hit. I do think the back and how you have, if you let the shoulder get involved, 1, 2, and 3, 4, makes it feel more full And it gives it an accent at the end. And I think my guy in center does that pretty well. So if you look, yeah, do I need a 0.75 this? Sure. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, you got to use your back to make that look as full as they are making it here. The pickup is nice, and they go out in, which is also nice. It goes blah, blah, with the kicks are really fun. They hit it over. I like that choice hit, rotating it around. And then they go rotate it down, which is also nice to see. And we have a body roll. Nice intention. Now, he did this twice. I think it's the same guy twice. I really, really like the fact that he did it, because I said it in the music video. You can clock him very easily because everybody's committed with their body roll. I think just our members end up doing the body roll. Our dancers just bleed the hands. I love the subtlety and I like the cohesion of that. But my feature, he takes one hand down and uses it to help complement his body. That's smart because it makes me naturally see him. If everyone's doing the same thing as that one person, who are you going to look at? The one person. So that to me is an A+ feature moment. He does it twice. We love it. And then they go and they take it, use it as a transition, 1 and 2 and. So our members do the transition more heavily than our dancers do. Dancers just go front and back, just trying to maintain spacing. They go high to low, and I love just the heads on these. Really fun, very interesting. It keeps you going, ooh, because you normally don't see people involve this or this as aggressively in a course that is very chant oriented like this, that requires more vocals than not, especially for singers, because this, if I'm doing this, I mean, it's possible, but it's not fun. Like, it's not something I would want to do. So it's just impressive. You just normally don't associate your head and throwing it about all over God's green earth with stable vocals. So that's a really fun risk challenge that we're seeing here. It's cool. And then we go hit, and I like with the shoulders on that. And then we go high to low again, rotating through with the chest pulse on that. We take our arms up, rotating it over. Yes, my guy, I'm telling you right now, if I learn this choreo, that's going to be me. Whew, pace yourself. Whew. And I hit it over, and I like how we trigger to trace it over. Not trace, but we use one arm to accent and trigger the other arm over. And we hit it over, boom, everyone comes up. And we go boom, da-da-da. So he has his moment, da-da-da, crawling it up. And he goes, play that back. Woo! That diction was going. Play that back. I know exactly what he was saying. And my favorite part about this is, doesn't it remind you, if you've ever been to a convenience store, and you see the hot dogs on the little railing, and you see them all slowly turn? That's what this felt like. A whole bunch of hot dogs. I love it. It's so fun because it just shows you how good their range is on this part. The fact that I can so clearly visualize to a very specific part of my life when you go fill up gas at your local gas station and you're like, do I want a hot dog here? You know, this is just awesome. This is so fun. Oh man, I love it. And I love the energy that they have, because they have to be mindful of their spacing. He has got to make sure he doesn't hit his friend right there. That would suck. And I like that my feature is low. So we technically have 3 levels represented. We got on the floor, we got a crouch, and then we got a stand. So I like that. We got multiple levels still coming in hot. Bless the dancers having to run into the wall there. No. Yep, and it goes running and da-da-da-da. And I love the army crawl on that. It's really cool. It showcases a sense of combativeness. It helps build on the second course. Everybody goes down and over. They don't take away from this. And I like this. It definitely looks like a temper tantrum on the floor, right? So the army crawl, and then we go hit, and then it definitely goes da-da-da. So it's like punches with kicks, which is fine. On the floor, he throws it. I like the intensity of that. They're matching the intensity. Then they have their arm placed right there onto the top of the left thigh. I like the kick, and the kick helps create a running transition. I like the run. It feels combative to help complement, like you're running to war, right? It's cool. And then the absence of movement really helps create a really dope visual coming in with our runners. And then we have a member right here. I don't know who my feature is. He's my feature. Got it. Now we have everybody that's all combative right here. Now, when I reference Chibi Unity, there's a set by this group. It was done at Vibe. It's called I Won't Complain. Probably one of the most iconic pieces of choreography I have had the pleasure of letting my eyes watch in my life. So freaking beautiful. But there's a section of it, they go, it's hope, I think it's what they say there, and they're all like on each other like that, and then they drop on each syllable, not syllable, but each phrase that's repeated. So I like the visual imagery of this. It's not the most creative thing I've seen before, but I like where they placed it because it helps tie together the two groups that we've seen. We had the group that was army crawling and the group running, then have them collaborate together to create a fun moment that still has your members involved. And the melt on that's really fun. Then it goes crawl, crawl, crawl. I like the little trace crawling that's happening right there with our middle group. And it goes melt. Yeah, and I like how it's all, how they're choosing to syncopate these drops are really fun too. And now they kept going. That was really fun. And yeah, some people still up. So look at the amount of levels represented, but everybody's committed with a certain degree of angle that's going on. So I really like that. And then they go to the inside. This part is really, really cool. So remember what I said about the intro stage? They had this formation, but reversed. I love it. Ba-da-da. I really love this with our arms up. They were melting it down, so it's tying together a lot of what the pre-chorus showed us in the beginning. It was very much nice and tense, environmental, but now it's become its own focal point where everybody gets to be their own conductor of their own set, and it goes da-da-da to the reset, so they can swing the arms around, and we reset in center, we hit it over, and then we rotate that head around, and they go sway, sway, so I like the arms on this choice. It goes da-da-da, so I like how we bleed the energy up on that, and then we bleed the energy out on this as well. And it goes pulse, pulse, and of course we had Baby Powder coming out in that music video. If they were able to pull that in the dance practice, I would have lost my ever-loving mind. That would have been incredible. But it's okay. We don't want to have to pay the custodials to clean that up, especially if we got to do multiple takes. That's a nightmare, and that's not coming off of your black clothes easily. But yeah, I love that. He takes it over, and then he has this boom. I like how they double it up. Yeah, the 3 pulses on that, and it looked like we were sinking further and further every time, didn't it? I mean, kind of, but that was gorgeous. Love that moment. Ah, good energy on this party movement. Make it go blah, blah. I love this. I really want to see, a Kpop and Paul look done to this. With the Baby Powder. You gotta do it with the Baby Powder. I know it's a tough ask, because I don't even think they could do that in one take. The logistics on trying to get that to happen is really tricky. But you could get it out of your pocket and go, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to help y'all out if y'all wanted to workshop a way to do it. God, that's the way to do it though. But this is so freaking intense. I love it though. It's really, really fun. And they go back down to high. So as they transition low to high, they notice once again, they're all facing the same facing. It helps tie the point that I made back on the intro, right? Where you had 2 different transitions going on. You see when everybody commits to the transition, it just naturally makes more sense. And I like the columns being seen. I do wish that there was more clarity on the spacing here, so we can at least assume that this was a straight line, because it doesn't look straight, and it could just be because the spacing between the guys is a little off. But also even our members looks a little off in the line. But because of what we're doing, this is called Pick Your Battles. It's fine. Like, it's whatever. So it's the same stuff that we've already seen before. Oh man, I'm just thinking, if I learn this, that part, I'm gonna feel so insecure about getting that right. Okay. That little ba ba, and we hit accent over to the side, rotate it around, tension on this. Now notice they do the little body roll. I like the body roll on that, and I like how he drops the arm. It's cool. And we do a nice little ball change with a legato going on. I think does everybody do that, or just our members? I mean, I wonder if our dancers were asked to go more stiff so we could see the members really stand out in the subtleties like legato grooves, which is what we're seeing here. Maybe that would make sense if that was the responsibility being asked for the dancers. And it goes, wake up, so they have their moment. Yeah, but da-da, the first time with the head nod, second time, and they rotate with the head, so it goes da-da-da, and head nod, da-da-da, rotate, chest pop. I like the progression of that, having to add on there too. Then they basket run. Then what you say to me, party of 5. So they rotate it through, they said, Ride it out. What are we riding? I do have that question. I know they're adults, but still. I still have to ask the but still. Then from here, they're pressing like we're getting ready to go. Where are we going? I like the interruption drop. And then they said, here we go, body roll. And they use pushing the weight up right by the hips to help allow more weight to go in that back leg so they can bring that front leg in. Really nice. They come up. Nice way to get that transition. Look at this. I can watch that all day. Look at that groove. Groove it with a dip. Like that to me, that's a freaking spicy way to get on, my friends. But I like this connection right here. We got two of them popping off. So I like this pulse on this too. It looks really nice. That's the kind of stuff I can watch all day when it comes to transition for dancers on stage. So they rotate it through. I like the look, connecting to what's going on with these threads in the back. The slide is nice. So they take it through. I love that, threading it out of the way and using that thread to help get these two to partner up and make it feel a match dynamic. It's really cool. So they hit from high to low. They go up to down. And they go hit and hit. So I like this high-low accent that they're doing right here with the chest. Boom, boom. It's really nice on the fullness. And they go, take it tonight. Hinge. Nothing screams better like a really dope harmony like that than throwing a hinge in your choreo. Yeah! Because it holds the whole note. It gives herself movement. But it also recognizes you're belting it out in the world, right? I love it. We're all melting around. I love the mirrored effect of that too, and the heartbeat that's going on in the back too. Really nice to see. Then we do a nice little barrel jump on that body roll. He says we're gonna add a little shimmy for our party when they go down. Not everybody went all the way down, did they? Okay, this could be a couple of reasons. Firstly, we forgot. That looks like a oh crap, I forgot to drop vibe. There's also a I don't have room, I'm gonna hit my neighbor if I don't drop, or it's a I'm low or I think I'm low enough even if I'm not. So there's like 4 or 5 people that are not like low, but at least they're around the same area, so it's a little bit easier to forgive, if that makes sense. So here we go. Boom. 2. So right there, go to a little rooftop, which is really fun with the legato, and I like the little head to help promote an ISO drop on that, and they go double, oh. So they do a double rotation on the chest, boom, and then step and cross it, and he says, boom, better, let's go. And then I like the pulse on this too, really nice. Swing, better, batter, swing, okay. And we go, he punches it down, they go wee, all the way around, he turns out of it, nice energy, with the arms. I love the full notes on that. Here, bum, 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 pulsing the arms up, and then we do a sway, and we go hit, hit, and then we go punch, 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 and then we punch it down, we bring it in, and then we take our energy, hop, high, low, and then they go forward. That's my one note. Part of me, like, yes, I love the fact that we got our dancers there quickly. It wasn't my favorite time to do the basket run like that, but at the end of the day, getting there and about, they've got, how much time do they have? They got about 6 counts top to get that spot, to get them lifted. It's fine. It's okay to get them to the list. I find it, let me see. I'm trying to workshop this. If I was there and I was like, how can we make this more efficient? Because I'm not just one that's going to give notes and not solutions, right? Let me see. So there. Okay, so at least like the members didn't go too far forward. I do think they could have possibly like scooted it back so they kind of gotten absorbed in the formation. Would have been really cool to workshop, or maybe they did and they're like, this is way more efficient for what we need it for. Punch it. I like the punch, and I like how we're transitioning it. I do think we could have had everybody transition that, but I do understand why we had the members transition and everybody else not. It helps still clock the members for that part. And they have a little party moment left. Dun dun pinata, collapse. When we come up, and I like that everybody resets. Their eyes are shot up to us. The dancers are looking at them. They get a round of applause for me. Whoo! I don't get to do megas that I like too often. I think I only get to do about 4 or 5 a year out of like the hundreds of analysis I do. Well, no, there's more. If it's like a survival show, then we get like a whole 2.5 hours of beauty of that. But when it comes to like K-pop comebacks with mega crew formats, I can watch that all day, baby. Like I've said, I am very excited to continue on, hopefully seeing ACE continue to thrive and all their different isms as a group. I really like getting requested it, so y'all give a big big shout out to Lauren. She's the one who even clocked this. She's the one who's like, I want to use my Patreon request for this. And so please make sure you give her all the love and encouragement and everything, because the reason why we get to watch this is because of her. Yeah, this was great. Y'all know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Bye.
Drop. Keep that pinata, make it go brata. You know I gotcha. That roll, elevate. Migos maratas, they know it's tata. Make you go baba. 두 눈으로 마주하는 glow. That's how we know. 남김없이 simple anywhere that we go. Drop that granada, y'all know that we back. Also finita. What you say to me? Play that back. You just kept no, we that bro.